Be advised, mature content ahead. This podcast is brought to you ad-free thanks to the Legion of Demons at patreon.com/NOTLP. If you like what you hear, there's much more at patreon.com/NOTLP. Join the Legion. That's patreon.com/NOTLP. And now the show.
How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we warn you.
Hi, guys. That's the sound of a killer tomato. So we are wrapping up Mayflowers with Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
Yeah.
That's Aussie Andy's pick.
Yep.
Aussie Andy.
Aussie.
If you'd like to pick one of our main attractions,
Our
just
noses.
sign up for our mailing list. Go to notlp.com, scroll down till you see the Dracula stamp, and you can sign up there. Your name will be put into a random drawing once a month to pick one of the main attractions.
Yeah, so he won and picked Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Is that Aussie enough?
That was pretty good.
That was good.
Tomatoes.
From what I can tell.
Oh, you're slipping. You're slipping in a Brit.
I've got like accent in the ear. I can't,
Tough act.
differentiate in my mind.
Dope as fuck.
Yeah.
In my mind, it sounded like so authentic, but
Yeah.
I'm sure in your ears.
Are we in Sydney right now?
Yeah, we definitely
now?
are. Oh.
Is that a noise?
All I know is it was an episode of that animated psychiatrist show.
Dr. Katz.
Dr. Katz.
Yeah.
And somebody was on the show talking about Australian accents, and they always say, at the end of every sentence, Aussies say, it sounds like a question, like, yeah? That type of thing.
I see.
Tomatoes? So you have to... you have to, like, what's that? Put an inflection at the end
Inflection
of
on the end of the syllabus.
So anyways, joining me is Mikey B.
I'm Mikey B. Yay.
We've got Freddy.
Dinkum.
Fair
Dinkum.
Freddy.
Did you call him the Friar Dinkum? Friar Dinkum.
Friar Dinkum.
Put a shrimp on the Barbie.
And then we've got our lovely Sheila. I think that's what they call him down there.
Sheila E.
Right?
Yeah, blokes and Sheilas.
Cheese fries, please.
Amy.
Ben's probably like, I taught all you guys this shit and you've already forgotten.
Come on. We can't.
I can't remember what I had for dinner, Freddie.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I did. It was
I cooked your dinner.
potato tacos.
I made you potato tacos.
They were steak and potato tacos.
It was steak and potatoes. And
steak and potato tacos.
peppers and onions.
They were good,
tossed
but
salad
it
and
was,
scrambled
It
eggs.
was a little weird to have potatoes and tacos. I
It
know.
wasn't weird. I thought it was delicious.
It's fun to say
I might
potato
steal
taco.
it. I might steal it.
Yeah, I had the potatoes left over.
Potato taco.
And
Potato potato.
I don't want to waste food.
You shouldn't.
Did we have tomatoes tonight at all?
We did. It was in the guacamole that I made.
Oh, okay.
We're being attacked.
We had tomatoes, but they weren't killer.
No. We don't know yet.
What about in that seasoning of the corn? It seemed like there were some tomatoes in that.
That was a little bit of the red bell pepper that bled into that. If you saw some red on the corn.
Okay. It was good.
It was good.
Red corn.
So, listener, if you
Y'all
saw
missed
some
out.
red on the corn,
That was some twice cooked corn.
blood on the scarecrow, blood on the corn.
Boo.
So, off the top of the bat, I'd like to welcome our new Beelzebubs. Why is my voice like this? Emily and Branan. Yay! We love
Thank you
them
so much, guys.
So much.
We will be mailing your shirts out this week.
Hells
And
to
your
the
pins.
yeah.
And kisses. We'll put kisses in the bag for you if you can find them.
We'll kiss your shirts first.
Yeah.
They're kissed. They come pre-kissed.
So we're going to blow kisses into a mason jar and catch them right away.
And then shatter it.
Yeah.
Let them out into the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Emily and Branan.
If you're interested in supporting the show, go to patreon.com/NOTLP. Yay!
Yeah.
And you know what you get for that? You get
Kisses.
shirts, pins, access to all kinds of fun stuff. Night of the Comic, which is now weekly. Weekly. We went from being off schedule for a very long time to now being every Thursday morning. You should be able to get that in your feed.
Okay, you did it 1 week.
I know. I think
down,
if I put it out in the world that we're going to stick to that schedule, I'm hoping it'll happen. You get all the old episodes, Origins. So Emily and Branan, you can go back and revisit because I know Emily has listened almost, I think, since day one.
She was our first listener.
She was our very first one. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Legendary status.
Yeah. So, yeah, all their good stuff's coming. We're going to have a Discord viewing party, AFV.
I found an old one.
Did you?
Remember I sent it to you, but I didn't watch it because I don't want to be spoiled on all of the nut shots in the
Now,
America's Funniest
when
Videos.
did you send it to me?
Oh, this is a
This is a long time ago. So
It's a Bob Saget era. America's Funniest Home Videos.
It's an OG one, huh?
And it still has commercials in it from probably late 80s, early 90s.
oh, that's really fun. Is it on
Yeah.
YouTube?
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh, so all the funniest videos have the little date at the bottom of like 1989.
Yep, the little white number.
So there's a trick to last time we did this. We didn't synchronize,
Our watches.
so everybody was slightly out of sync with each other as far as the viewing goes. So do you know how to synchronize the YouTube video so everybody can watch it together?
I mean,
Anyways, we're going to try to figure that out before the 27th. The 27th is a Thursday night.
June 27th, 2019.
Yeah, 8 p.m.
Eastern.
to 9 p.m. Yeah, Eastern time.
Standard time.
You go to our Discord server. If you're a patron, you have access to that server where there is Note Passings for Demons, which is a little group where people just have a constant chat. And then there is Demon Speak or something along those lines. I can't remember what I called it, which is the voice channel. But there's only 2 channels. You'll see them. We used to have a bunch, and it got way too confusing.
Yeah.
So you can participate via either one of those channels. If you don't want to talk verbally, you can type. There are some funny people in there. There's so much fun.
We had a good time our first time.
I think
Yeah.
Ghostface Bella lives in there, right?
He does. I think he's like Beetlejuice living in that little model in the
I'm
attic.
glad. It's like warm. It feels like there's right there in my phone if I ever need him.
He's
Yeah.
he's like the Max Headroom of the
Yeah.
Discord.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I like it.
So
Funny guy,
I
too.
love Discord though. I wish I had more time to be on there because it's probably one of the most
Need to
fun
get
things.
another video
on the
game
internet.
going on there. That was
Yeah,
fun.
we did the Diablo.
Diablo.
I have Red Dead Redemption 2 now.
Oh, we could do Red Dead talk.
I have Mortal Kombat 11. They were both on deep discount, so I jumped on that shit when they were on sale, and now I have cool games. If anyone wants to play cool games with me.
Would that make us a cool kid?
Speaking of Mortal Kombat 11, I don't know if it's like the most recent one, but there's a lot of pictures of Kano going around,
Oh yeah.
and I found it on Uncanny Valley.
Oh really?
He's looking good.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
there are some sexy characters in there.
You should definitely see his finishing off move.
Oh,
Finish him on your face.
Well, that's fun.
That is fun.
Thanks so much.
Yeah. I can't remember if I got Mortal Kombat 11, Freddy. I need to check that out.
You need to get it.
I was
so we
at...
can fight each other.
Yeah, we'll fight.
I played Mortal Kombat 1.
That was the cool shit in the
like,
arcade.
I'm all-
Were you on the Super Nintendo or were you on the Genesis?
Super Nintendo.
Oh, you're not talking about the arcade game.
Or were you talking
Oh.
about the arcade game?
No, the first time I ever played Mortal Kombat was on a Super Nintendo.
I remember being so blown away by those graphics. Where like these look like real people, man.
Do you remember what the beef was between Super Nintendo and the Genesis people?
No.
Because this is where the adults got separated from the children. Because Mortal Kombat on the Super Nintendo was like green blood,
Oh, that's
and
right.
Genesis was the actual blood. But I do believe that Super Nintendo had a code you could put in to change like the green blood to red blood.
If you had your Game Genie.
If you had your Game Genie, yeah.
Do you remember the Game Genie? Wasn't it you
Oh,
put
yeah.
it was a bigger cartridge, you put the other cartridge in?
Yeah, you rented it from the grocery store so that you could beat the game. Get the codes.
I used cheat codes for sure, but I definitely remember using it with SimCity.
Oh yeah.
Using the Game Genie?
Ain't got time. Oh, I didn't use a Game Genie.
Oh, okay.
I ain't got time to make the money. I just need to have the money.
That's when video game magazines were actually important.
Yeah.
Because
where
you
else-
had to get the
Yeah.
codes.
well, did anybody actually buy them, or did you go to the store and just look at the
Yeah, write the
write
code
it down?
I would go in so much like paper and pencil and
Yeah.
write those things down.
Or you'd call your friend and be like, "Hey, you got the latest issue of Nintendo
Yeah.
Power?"
Mm-hmm.
I was somewhere at the store. It was all dog-eared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first copy on the shelf was like that was the one everybody flipped through and looked at the page.
Yeah. Those were great,
You
though.
had to get there early because sometimes people ripped it out.
Uh-huh.
Wow,
turds.
yeah.
Remember going and get like the EGM or the Nintendo Power. Those were the ones.
Did you guys ever get one of those magazines that just had game code in it that you would write on a
You mean
computer?
Game Code Magazine?
Was it called game code?
It was like cheat code or game code mag. There was
Yeah.
nothing but codes.
It was just code, like DOS. You write it in DOS or whatever, C++, whatever you ended up getting. But like you'd work all weekend for some shitty game
Yeah.
that you'd play for a minute on Monday.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh my God.
Oh yeah. I
But
did
the
that. I
kids
had
who
that on the
love that.
Commodore 64.
Yeah.
And I remember typing everything in and then getting the error message after like 4 hours later.
And then saving it to a cassette tape. Do you remember that? They had,
Yes.
you could record the code to a cassette tape.
Mm-hmm.
Like that you would also record music to the same bass.
Children, gather round.
I had the cassette tape for my Atari 2600 where you could play like the, I think it was called Adventure. And you could
Oh,
play,
yeah, I remember
you put
that.
the
The
cassette
dot.
tape in. Yeah. And you'd have to wait for the load screen, which a lot of times didn't actually work. So
Yeah. Those were the days.
those were the days.
We had so much patience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Elsa's here. Say hi, Elsa. Elsa's here
Oh.
to get her muddy wet paws all over Andy.
Since we have gaming up for just a second, I went to Origins this past weekend.
Oranges.
And Oranges in Columbus, Ohio. Ohio. So yeah, there were for horror fans out there, the board games, some good stuff coming out in the horror realm. But some of it was actually out. There were two that I just should have put them up on the feed. I'm out of con practice right now.
Shame on you.
I know. What was I thinking? Because I think that they were both really interesting. Well, one of them I actually bought, so I can take a picture of it from my table. The other one is a game called Monster Slaughter that just came out, where you play as families of monsters, and you're basically bidding on teenagers who come into a house, and you're deciding which one you want to kill first and what order you want to do it in. But it's like a fun family style game.
Oh.
So it's kind of cute. You got to figure out how to get like the teenagers cornered, and it's like actually the box itself becomes a 3D map. So you flip the box over, so you have like little rooms that you're trying to get like the kids like in the bathroom or alone by themselves, so then you can send the Wolfman in and kill the kid.
Are they all white teenagers?
Oh, they're like they're colored plastics.
Okay, so this is not problematic.
It's not problematic. No, I don't think. Yeah, it's very cartoony, fun, goofy. It's not for being serious. And the other game that I actually picked up, I'm really excited about, is a game called.
Monopoly.
Is called I Would Never Play Monopoly. Please don't recommend it around me. My gamer snot will come out.
Monopoly.
Do you play like real Monopoly, or do you like are you playing until like you get total domination?
Well, usually you just give up. Yeah. When somebody's got too much shit.
I took the best photos of Elsa just now, and for some reason they are not showing up on my phone.
I'm so sorry. Mike, what's the name of this game?
The name of the game is.
It's the name of the game.
Uno.
Well, something Zeds.
Phase 10.
What? Oh shoot!
This is great content, huh?
Jax.
I just had it up. So basically, what it is a game that is designed.
Something Zed.
It's seriously.
This
what's
is
up.
a game that gives worms to ex-girlfriends.
Yeah.
I feel this is going to be a lot of our content
Dawn of the Zeds.
as we get older.
Dawn of the Zeds. So the basis of the game is that it was designed for solitaire gaming from the ground up. So it's like actually a good game for one person, but you're running a camp, or you have like this camp, and you're trying to keep zombies from flooding in, but you can play it solitaire. So it's like a puzzle game where zombies keep flooding into the board, but you're trying to figure out how to move your people and keep them out, and then you have to take care of different camps of people. Anyhow, the game seemed really interesting because you're actually trying to deal with humans being can be aggressive, even though that you're trying to save them. So you have to figure out how to sway them over or make them cooperative so that you can actually save their lives. And I sat down for a demo, and I really enjoyed it. So I picked it up and own it, and I'll be sure to post a little bit more about it or say a little bit more about it soon.
I say fuck them.
Just let them go.
Just let them all
So-
die.
Other horror game news: the Blair Witch game. It's coming out for
Yes.
PC and Xbox.
Yeah.
You saw the trailer for this, right?
I
haven't.
did.
Yeah.
I watched the trailer on the. I think that Microsoft was the one that did the press release, press announcement for it, and they showed this awesome trailer for the game. A lot of speculation that it was the Silent Hill reboot that everybody's been waiting on, the one that Guillermo del Toro was supposed to be working on, and
forever ago,
and then got canceled and all that good stuff. But was not. It was actually a Blair Witch game. So
is it like a first-person situation?
If anybody's played Alan Wake,
I have, yeah.
I thought that was my guess for what the game was when they were showing the trailer, because there's a lot of like flashlight where you're trying to avoid things by running from one place to the other with a flashlight is all the light that you have to see. But the end of it was very. You should watch the trailer if you're into those games. But
I am.
Yeah, did you watch the trailer?
Not yet, but I
Okay.
want to. I was really excited when you sent that.
So excited.
I don't watch trailers. I
Didn't watch
never do.
So when it comes up and it says, "Do you kick the map into the river? Yes or no?" That's a very key moment.
Yes. Do you wipe the snot off your nose?
Yeah.
Before posting.
There's
video?
no time.
There's no time. But yeah, so that was really awesome to see that that's a kind of an older license, but they definitely were announcing it as like one of their big AAA titles coming out, because it was at the front of their Microsoft announcements.
God, I would love a new Silent Hill though.
Oh yeah.
It's
been a while.
That's my shit. Silent Hill 2.
Did anybody in this room play the Silent Hill
the demo they did?
The demo?
No, it was gone before I could play it.
You know those if you have that on your PlayStation, I think it was a PlayStation 3 when it was released. If you still have that game on your PlayStation, those PlayStations, at least they go for a very significant amount of money.
Really?
Because you can keep it forever. So I have it if you ever want to play it.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
I want to check it out.
I do believe it's storming outside.
Storms are brewing.
Storms are coming.
So
a few of us here. Everyone except Mike, sorry.
it was in Origins.
You were at Oranges.
Oranges.
We went and saw Men in Black International.
Yeah. It's pretty fun. It's cute.
It was a lot of fun.
It's very nostalgic.
Yeah, it's not breaking any new ground, but it's a fun adventure story. A lot of cute character design.
Kumail. He was fantastic, and I had no idea. I didn't really even know or care that much about the movie, but I was like, I'll see it. And I did.
And you did.
And I did.
She did see it.
You saw it, huh?
Kumail. He was
Kumail.
adorable in it.
Yeah.
You've got Kumail.
I think everybody did a great job carrying their weight performance-wise.
Yes.
A lot of familiar faces to people who are fans of Australian comedy and New Zealand comedy. You hear that rain coming down?
Yeah, it's really pouring outside.
Yeah. It's fun.
It's mostly what it's been doing for 3 days and will continue doing. And then
Yeah.
the river will swallow us all up.
I kind of like that sound, though. It's
Yeah.
so peaceful.
You want to take a rain nap real quick?
That
all
would be
take a nap?
great. Just
Enjoy the soothing sounds of rain.
This might put people to sleep.
Yeah.
hey, you can use this at night. Just listen to this in the background with the rain. You probably can't even hear it.
All right. We were
should-
arrested at night.
We should start screaming to wake them up.
I was just gonna say this will be a good one for those people who listen to podcasts when they fall asleep. Get the fuck up! Amy screamed.
Well, how dare you fall asleep to us?
There was a great one that I earmarked as to listen to over and over again, and Amy did, like, it was, you guys were talking about anime, and like right in the middle of like this really fun, relaxing part, Amy screamed like an anime character.
Kanina!
I think that was exactly
Akira.
it.
Akira.
And then it became not so great to listen to
Sorry. Ooh.
when you're trying to sleep.
I hope we don't get electrocuted.
There's
with our
thunder out
headphones.
there.
Is that a risk?
I've always heard that, but I think that's paranoid, right?
They could come up through the microphones and get us
Yeah.
all.
That lightning can travel through.
This podcast would be worth
headset.
a lot of money.
It's not like we're
I don't think
recording.
it'll ever get out.
Yeah, it's not like we're recording in a pool.
Yeah. So
Is that still dangerous?
maybe we should move so
Too
that we
bad,
don't
except
get struck
peeing on
by
the floor
lightning.
right around your
through our
feet.
headphones.
Huh? We're not going to get struck by lightning.
It happens.
Freddy too.
People get struck through their old handset receivers on their telephones. Do you
Yeah, I remember that.
That's
You're supposed to
not
hang up your landline.
Yeah.
But we're not. Don't you think?
Welcome to
Is
Paranoid
that
Cast.
plugged into a thing?
Okay.
There's current running through.
All
this
right, well,
shit.
let's go ahead and wrap it up. Patreons?
Oh, cell phones okay?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
cell
good.
phones.
I mean, they're giving you cancer through the like slight radiation.
You're not supposed to
in it.
talk on them when they're plugged into the wall, though.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then
Mike's shaking his titties.
Mike's shaking his titties. All right, everybody. Shake your titties, and we'll be right back.
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for Straight-to-Video Russian Roulette.
That's Disney.
Yep. That's Disney, all right. We were talking about the Disney two-finger point, and Andy said, smell that?
That's Disney.
So, I watched a film called Evil Down the Street. Not so much a film as a digital video that someone uploaded to Amazon Prime.
Freddy.
Think of the quality of the reenactments you see on a television show, like a true crime show.
Okay.
Feature length.
Like a killer beside me.
Yeah. Not as exciting as the killer beside me.
Oh.
Because this is mostly a family having dinner together and bickering over minor things. But it's like this family of 4, father, mother, 2 teenage daughters, move into this like Mediterranean Spanish style McMansion. And they learn that the last lady who lived there went crazy from one of the neighbors. In the basement, they find a crystal ball and a Ouija board. And the husband's like, let's not mess with those things. And he yells at the kids for playing with it. And he yells at the wife for playing with it.
Do people still move in houses with stuff in it?
I think
Yeah.
a lot of times
People leave stuff behind all the time.
you moving your stuff out and you like the closing date's coming. And you're like, I really don't want to move that Ouija board and crystal ball. I'm just gonna leave that there as like a welcome to my.
But wouldn't the realtors get rid of that stuff before they sell the
No.
house?
No.
Any realtors out there? Please listen to me. Like, answer my question.
I mean, it's something that's like stashed away in the corner of a basement. I don't think anybody cares.
I moved in and there was like they left the vacuum cleaner and it worked.
Yeah.
I remember when we moved into our house, but that was like 96. No,
1896.
94.
Mm-hmm.
My mom and I, and there were like a handful of things I think left in the garage, but nothing like scary.
My shed had a ton of stuff in it.
Yeah.
Still there.
Like
some of
shed
it, 'cause
stuff
I don't
or
know what
Ouija
it is.
boards and crystal
Ouija
balls?
boards, crystal balls,
If I were
severed
to
heads.
leave this house, I definitely would leave some shit behind because it's like, fuck it.
I would deliberately leave creepy stuff behind.
Okay.
We were on that movie shoot on this weekend, and they had all this fake money, which looks very real. Andy saw it. It's almost real money, except for the little tiny bits of text on it. But I said, if you guys ever move, you should just hide all the shit in the walls.
Oh,
Because could you imagine somebody just finding that stuff?
some kid.
Yeah, I would
Just
think
like, I'm going to the comic book store. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's 1932. I'm gonna spend all my
Oh,
dollars.
get some penny candy.
Get some penny candy and comic books.
and the Secret Service is going to arrest him for counterfeiting. He's going to go to a federal prison. So, what happens? The 2 daughters, the mom played with the Ouija board. The mom gets possessed by something. Yawn. And she becomes super sexy mom, and the husband's not having it, even though she's like sexying up for him and trying to have sexy sex with him. And
Like a Zool thing.
yeah, and he's just like, this Ouija board's dark-sided, and I won't have any of it.
Dork-sided.
Yeah. So
It's not Christian.
one of the neighbors refers him to the priest who helped the lady that lived there before, Father Bob, who's this elderly priest who's also they play him up to be this tough character, and really, I mean, it really comes to nothing. But what I did enjoy was that the mom tells the daughters to peel potatoes, and there's a bunch of potatoes, and she's like, I'm going to take a nap. And they're like, why do you want? Mom never wants potatoes. And they peel all these potatoes. And then she comes down, she goes, why'd you guys peel so many potatoes? And then dad comes home and he goes, what's with the potatoes? And then they have potatoes for dinner.
Wait. Were they?
If this is like the most memorable part of the movie, that's real sad.
It was for me, but at the dinner, the dad looks at the mom and says, what's a day look like in your world? To the mom.
Full of potatoes, I guess.
And she blows up at him and says, what are you insinuating? That I don't do anything? And it's just pointless.
Oh my god. We had so many potatoes tonight too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that where you got your inspiration for potato steak?
It's where
tacos?
I made too many potatoes right around the same time
Are
I
you
watched this
Freddy's
movie.
possessed?
I could be possessed.
Did you make Millie and Elsa cut the potatoes?
I did. I was
He
like,
is extra sexy right now.
tell you to peel this many potatoes.
Okay, so that was a clue that she was possessed because she craved potatoes,
I guess.
and in her previous life she didn't crave
Maybe
potatoes.
it gives you a potassium deficiency or something. So the neighbors get together and they have like I guess not exactly an intervention, but a powwow about the previous owners.
It's like you've been having too many potatoes.
Yeah, as you got into the
Slow
potatoes.
down. Your potato roll is too much.
So
Potato roll.
Attack of the killer potatoes.
Potatoes.
How ironic.
Tomato.
Remember Dan Quayle misspelled it, but he didn't really.
Yeah. Well,
What?
he did misspell it.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't
But I-
pluralize it correctly.
I don't think it was exactly
Wasn't
his
it?
fault.
It's the public education system
That's
that he
it.
probably wasn't part of.
Yeah.
Ooh, I got some static. My mustache stood up.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No.
Oh my
Yeah, I'm not making shit up.
It's like
okay.
that shock roulette game that you gave us.
Yeah.
We used to have to get our headphones off faster than you.
So they start having this conversation. You think the neighbors who knew the previous owners of the house are insinuating that these people were swingers,
Oh.
but really they were having robed seances.
That is less exciting. Or more exciting.
I wish.
And
So-
at what point do the potatoes come into play?
Yeah, well, the whole Father Bob thing is about to happen. They're going to have this appointment with him where he comes out. And the wife and the husband are having this real heated argument. And he's just being real shitty. He's yelling at her. No, you got to go with us. We're going on vacation. And then he goes, anyways, Father Bob is coming on Wednesday. And she goes, I thought you canceled that appointment. And then the husband says, of course I didn't. That would be the height of rudeness.
Okay.
What a mundane movie.
Freddie, your face as you tell us these
Yeah.
things. I'm sorry this
How
happened
long
to
was
you.
this movie?
I think about 90 minutes or so.
Okay.
So mostly it was like bickering.
Yeah, it was a lot of bickering and potato wonder and
Potato Wonder?
yeah, potato shenanigans.
How does she feel about
Potato Land!
How does she feel about sweet potatoes?
I don't know.
Is it all russets?
Yeah,
but can she mash potato?
in the end, the priest helped them, I guess, because everything seemed okay, and they started going to church again. I guess this was some sort of Christian propaganda, and maybe I don't know,
Was this like a Christian tract movie?
maybe.
Yeah.
And when they were leaving to go to church at the end, like you saw a curtain move in the house. Whoopity fucking do.
It was a potato.
It was a potato.
Whoopity fucking do.
But really,
Okay.
the possession just made the mom get sexy.
That
So that's
seems to happen.
pretty much the
Yeah.
worst thing that happened to him.
Yeah, and he could have just gotten laid for a change. This guy needed it anyway. He was so fucking uptight about stupid shit like potatoes and Ouija boards.
Ouija.
Ugh.
Ooh.
I did not like this movie.
What?
It was just so fucking boring and mundane. It was a muggle of movies.
Oh.
Okay, let's say your house is haunted. Would the first thing you do, and at least I would do, is reach for the Bible or look for a priest?
You would?
Yeah. Well, what would you guys do?
I would Google it.
I'd go into immediate denial.
I would use logic and reasoning to try to figure it out first.
I would smudge.
Yeah.
Would you
Get
smudge?
some sage and just burn it throughout?
But
I do my own shit.
Just because it's like haunted doesn't mean it's like
It's bad.
Bad.
I think the first thing you do is go, hey, ghosts. I understand,
ghosts.
like, you know, you can stay here, but you got to be cool. Nobody's saying you can't, but you got to be cool. And if that doesn't work, then you smudge.
Have I ever told you guys the story about my change box? Okay. I got this present from my mom, and it's kind of cool because she likes going to this like craft shows or whatever, and it's this change box that was an old like
What's a change box? A box you put change in?
yeah.
Like, I thought it was
So
something
there you
else.
Like a piggy bank.
Yeah.
Right.
But the it's from an old post office that was like around in the war or whatever. So like they were all like wooden carved boxes. So like this artisan takes the wooden boxes and then makes them into like piggy banks.
So she
They
She
upcycle.
she takes a change box and makes it into another change box?
No, she takes a mailbox and changes it into a
okay.
change box.
Do you get it?
Are we there yet, Andy?
So she gives boxes and says, here, put change in it.
Well, anyhow, I filled up. I was
I could do that.
Maybe you should. There's clearly a market.
Oh, look, a box.
Yeah.
It's a change box now.
Yeah.
I'm holding a tissue box, and now it's a change box.
no, it's change box.
That's all it takes.
Change.
It's change. 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 Oh, I get it.
yeah.
So anyhow, I was collecting change in that thing for like 4 years, and I could never figure out how to get it open. So I was like, well, that's a great thing to keep me saving the money because I won't know how. Like it opened up like the mailbox did. It had the code and whatever on the bottom, but I couldn't figure out how to get it open. So one day I'm like, I'm gonna really dedicate to opening up this change box, like the mailbox, the change, and it was empty. Like you could hear some
What?
change in it, right? You could hear. I'll show it to you the next time you guys are over. It's still sitting on
So
my shelf.
when you shake it, you hear change.
Yeah.
Open it, no change.
I never got the thing open.
Oh!
I never got it open. I know that it was heavy. Like I've been putting change in it for multiple years, and it was heavy.
So somehow
I picked it up, and it was like nothing in
Nothing
it.
was
And
in
for
it.
a while, I thought people who would come over to my house, I'm like, somebody's figured out how to get the thing
And
open.
they've stolen from you.
And I keep asking them. I'm like, hey, you ever
might
mess
have
with that
a-
change box? And most people are like, I don't even what change box are you even talking about? They don't even recognize it.
crackhead ghost is in there shaking it at
Crackhead
night.
goes and figured out the code that I still to this
No,
day
it's just
can't figure
shaking it
out.
until coins fall out.
So to answer your question, I know that was a long way to get there. To answer your question, like I use logic to be like, all those pieces. But now I'm like, I just throw change in that thing, and I still have thrown change in that thing. Probably have had that for 10 years. And I'm okay with it. It's like my little,
Okay, then
my
how do
little
you-
donation
how do you
to keep it
explain-
cool.
Portal to hell.
How do you explain dishes being thrown across your room or
That's
things like
never
that?
happened to me.
But how can you apply logic to that? There's no logic. It's just ghosts.
But most times in the ghost story, like it's not somebody actually having plates thrown at them. They come into the room, and then like all of a sudden, all the plates are stacked up into like a pyramid or
Yeah.
triangle.
There's
or
no
something.
logic behind that. It's just ghosts.
Yeah.
It could be.
Nope, just ghosts.
I'm saying my mailbox might be ghost. That's why I keep throwing change in, and I'm like, good stuff.
Do you know how thrilled I'd be if I walked in my kitchen and a plate flew past me and shattered on the wall?
Thrilled?
And Amy wasn't on the other end of it.
Amy's over there going, what did you do? What did you do?
I'm just lucky I have at least 5 churches within 2 miles of my house.
I'm just not sure.
Church's chicken?
Yeah.
I love
Can
that.
solve it.
What would you do? Okay. I need it since we're playing this whole full scene out. So you walk into your bathroom and your toilet paper rolls are all stacked up. You're gonna go to the church. That's what you're gonna do.
Not the first sign of it, but
Father, it's
if
about
it
my toilet paper.
If it happened a couple times,
You said you were excited that there were
I
5
didn't say I
church-
was excited.
Okay.
He was excited.
You're happy
Is
that there were
it?
5 churches close by, so you have easy access. So basically, your first thing would be
No,
to consult the church.
Yes, because movies have taught me that.
You always go to the church early because you don't want to wait too long when the possession really takes hold, and then they're covered in flies.
You got all those
Everything
peeled
got
potatoes.
flies and everything got extra potatoes.
So should I take my? Should we go?
Okay,
to,
I can probably
We'll smudge it.
I can probably logically figure out why the toilet paper's stacked, but floating shit—that's another story.
Floating shit.
Okay. So
In
what
your
if?
bathroom.
What
It's
if
related to the stacked toilet paper, probably.
there are 5 toilet paper rolls stacked? You just walked out of your bathroom. You know that is not possible. But underneath those 5 stacked rolls of toilet paper, there's a $100 bill and a thank you card that just says, "Thank you for being you." To
What would you do?
It's not nothing is good. So
That's
you're gonna
not
like.
ghosty though.
But there's somebody in your house.
Wait a second. Wait a
Yeah. It
second.
could be a gift from a ghost, I guess.
Yeah.
What if there's just a gift card for toilet paper? And then you cut out the stacked toilet paper altogether.
I can only use it on toilet paper.
It's specifically for a special toilet paper store
5 coupons for
Called-
toilet paper.
called Wipies.
Oh, speaking of toilet paper, I was really impressed by my sister-in-law's toilet paper the other day.
Yeah?
It was really pretty.
Is it Jamie's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like quilted.
How does
and
it-
I've never seen that design before.
You-
and I was like, wow, this
Do you
is pretty
guys-
toilet paper.
Do you miss blue and pink toilet paper?
I do remember pink toilet paper.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can't get that anymore.
Yeah. I think they figured out the dyes were bad for your butthole.
Has anybody seen the gigantic rolls of toilet paper that you can get now?
Bigger than what I've got?
Yeah.
Really?
Like you can just get like so you never have to change your toilet paper. But I'm like, who has a toilet paper
Ever
roll
been?
that's that big?
Is it like the kind that they use in like public restrooms? It looks like
Basically,
a
but it's-
monster truck tire.
But it's I think it's supposed to not scratch your butt up like that would. But
Yeah.
it's crazy. And they demo it. They show it on a stick because I'm like, you can't.
They demo how to use it?
Like how many feet across are we talking?
I'm talking. It's a big
Like
thing.
a couple
I
feet
would
of-
say
of
like a
toilet
month. A healthy family that would be enough for a month.
What about an
A
unhealthy
family.
family? Half a month?
Half a month. I thought you could have regular bowel movements that were helpful, but I guess if you really need that much toilet
Or
paper.
is it nice and quilted? Or is it all just flat?
Yeah.
I will come back with more research.
Well, let's just buy one for experimentation.
No. Where are you going to put it?
Yep.
We're gonna stack 5 of them in Andy's bathroom.
You have to
so we
create.
can get him back to church.
Essentially, you make like a built-in bookshelf. You'd have to create a built-in toilet paper roll,
Yeah.
like into the wall, so that it wouldn't like encroach. Because we have a small bathroom,
Yeah.
so I'd have to really do some demo work first
Yeah.
to get the toilet
I want to
paper
do a
roll in.
research project now with Andy. I think I'm
you're
going to do
gonna-
some journalism.
You're going to break into my house and stack up toilet paper?
Investigate.
No. I'm gonna do some investigative reporting. I think
No.
you're gonna come over. The next time you remind me about the mailbox, I'm gonna show you the mailbox, and we're gonna take it to a church. I just want to see how that goes.
Do you think the existence of ghosts...
Or synagogue, just religion in general.
Okay, so we're universalists.
Do you think the existence of ghosts shows the lie of Christianity? Like,
For instance?
aren't you supposed to die and go somewhere else? Hell,
well, no, I mean,
purgatory,
they're
heaven?
Some rich religion.
There are ghosts in the Bible, I think, right? If I remember right. There were some in-betweeners.
All right.
I'm thinking of the in-betweeners.
You're thinking of Catholicism and purgatory, maybe?
from BBC Four.
Purgatory is a place. It's not Earth, is it? I don't know anything.
Well, that's more of a Catholicism
I'm a
thing.
heathen.
No. That's more of a Catholicism thing. Yeah, there's spirit. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel like there were some ghosts in the Bible.
There are people who are visited by the spirit of things. They wouldn't have, I don't think, well, you could say the Holy Ghost.
Well, there's
So-
that.
There is that.
The Holy Ghost.
And the Holy Ghost is supposed to be moving and doing things. So, yeah, for sure.
All
You're
right,
right.
fine,
There's
never
ghosts
mind.
Is
in
that
the
like the
Bibles.
Charlie Brown and Chic thing? Like from Great Pumpkin? Is he the Holy Ghost?
If you want him to be.
So do you
You just
recommend your
believe
movie?
hard enough.
No. No, I don't.
No. All right. Well, let's shoot somebody.
Okay.
All right. This time it's just Andy and I, so we have a 50-50 shot, sir. Let's see who it's going to be. And my website went down. Let me go ahead and
It's ghosts.
refresh that. It's ghosts.
It went down.
Down.
We're going down.
What if the name of the movie is 5 Rolls of Toilet Paper in Andy's bathroom?
That'd be very specific, and I'll run to a church right now if that happened.
But Amy's the one that gets shot.
Yeah. All right, Andy, you're up first. Movie gun, movie bullet. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, good.
You were waiting for me to say ready?
You live. That means I'm dead. And you learn. I'm going to watch a film. It's on Prime called Killers Within. With her son kidnapped, police officer Amanda Doyle takes part in a desperate plot to hold a wealthy family ransom. But this is no ordinary family. Y'all.
What a change from the previous movie, because before it was down the street.
Mm-hmm.
Now
Yeah.
it's within.
Which actually the alternate title of the movie I watched was The Evil Within.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah. That's what it was called before they changed it to The Evil Down the Street.
Huh.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
That is weird.
Whoa.
I blame it on ghosts.
I thought they changed it because of the video game, The Evil Within.
Oh.
But maybe was this released this year too? Your movie? Maybe it's the same movie. What if it turns out it's the same movie? With
Does it sound like the same movie?
No, but if the potatoes turn
But
out,
like,
you let me know.
whatever. It could be. All right. Thank you so much. We'll be right back.
This week's main attraction from 1978, the year of Mike's birth and my birth.
Yeah.
This movie's the same age as us.
You
Attack
were born.
of the Killer Tomatoes.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
I feel like I'm still watching this movie.
Yeah,
It was short, but it felt like 3 hours long.
it's because there's nothing to hold on to in it.
I feel like it's unfair to say this is terrible because, duh,
It's meant to be terrible, but
it's still.
it's
I wanted to
It's
die.
just still
Is
bad.
it the original Rotten Tomato?
Didn't they do that in Shakespearean time? They threw Rotten Tomatoes
I don't know.
Yeah.
for a bad performance. Originally, this was Costa Dillon's college short film.
Okay.
And then somebody said, here's $100,000.
Jesus.
Why don't you spend half of this on destroying a helicopter by accident and the other half on making what became a major cult classic due to VHS. It was one of the first movies on VHS. So a lot of people saw it just because they wanted to say, hey, I got this machine. Look what it does. It plays garbage.
I mean, this should have sunk the VHS industry.
So J. Stephen Peace, who was one of the producers and also played the dude with the parachute. He was a California senator from 1993 to 2002, and he did a lot of work on the energy crisis out there.
Huh.
So,
Really?
I'm glad he went on to do something worthwhile.
yeah. I feel like a lot of people that work on these low budget B movies go on to have really interesting lives. I think interesting people are drawn to taking chances on stupid projects.
Well, I think it was also a bunch of this dude's friends. They had never had any intention of
Or
being
maybe
actors.
interesting
Yeah.
people do interesting things.
I
Ah.
like the way you say it.
But here's the thing about this movie. Yes, it was bad, but there were little bits of little jewels here and there.
Yes, for sure.
Little bright spots.
And there were also some deeply offensive jokes too. That
Yeah.
And those were the bright spots to me.
Was it the USS
Wow.
Indianapolis joke?
Problematic.
Or not Indianapolis? That's Jaws. I
Arizona.
meant Arizona.
It was the
Fag
fruits joke.
It was the fruits joke.
I'm sorry I just said the full word.
But you're just quoting a movie, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we kind of giggled at that because it took us off guard. And
But it was wordplay. I felt it was thought out
And the
and not
Japanese-
just thrown out for just to say the F word.
the Japanese general knocking the the picture of the USS Arizona
Yeah.
into the fishbowl was a bit much.
And he was dubbed.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was dubbed. I mean, they dubbed him as a joke, but they had to do a lot of ADR in this movie too.
No,
It's
I
like-
didn't. Definitely, I got the joke.
Yeah.
But
Did you get
it? It was still kind of fun, right?
It felt to
Yeah.
me like Airplane.
Yes.
Kind of.
O-
Or
only
Kentucky
not,
Fried Chicken.
not as
But Airplane-
skillfully
Yes.
executed.
But Airplane had a plot
Yes.
Yeah.
and a through line. This
This
felt.
kind of does.
But
I
this-
didn't know what they were trying to do to fight the tomatoes.
Well, it was a little confusing because you have the president, and he gets Mason Dixon to assemble a team. This is like before the Avengers, guys.
Yeah.
And he assembles a team with Sam Smith.
You do not need to say their
Stay
names.
with me.
Is he
Master
the
of
He's
Disguises.
the black guy, right?
Yeah. Greg Colburn, who's the scuba man. Greta Attenbaum, who is the swimmer, and Wilbur Finletter is the parachute guy, the guy who became the senator.
Oh, those other people were part of his team?
What other people?
The people you just named?
Yeah.
I just parachute guy.
Well,
No, they were like a super team.
But I don't know what they were
When did
doing.
That was the point. It was stupid. It was like pointless. Like
But they were assembled to deal with the
tomato
man-
problem. Yeah.
the tomato problem. But I didn't see them deal with the problem at all.
They were assembled to get you to the next musical number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was. I felt it was like a series of skits more than an actual movie.
It was.
What? And then the press secretary for the president. I don't even understand what he was.
he was like on the side of the tomatoes for some reason.
Yeah.
And he went to the ad agent who they were trying to
Make us believe it's okay.
which was kind of the whole thing with they did that in the 70s where they had
That's
these
Wag the dog.
Wag the
Wag
dog.
the
movie.
dog.
yeah, they did that also with like
Deep Throat.
they had like catchphrases for certain legislation that was never really happening, like the embargo shit, whatever. And I guess this was a play on that. But this ad agent just breaks into a musical number for no real reason, explaining how they're going to make people want. Is it to make people want tomatoes, or not to be scared of tomatoes, or
No,
to
it
take
was-
up the effort to stop them? Because eventually he ends up with stop tomato.
It's like I didn't even know there was. I didn't. The threat didn't even seem that big. I didn't. Because when you think of attack killer tomatoes, you think there's tomatoes everywhere attacking. We didn't see much of tomatoes.
No, there were very few tomatoes.
But you're only seeing a glimpse of what's going on everywhere.
Right.
But even people didn't seem panicked about this tomato menace.
No, not really.
Right.
So there was just scenes that didn't make sense. There was the guy
There's
with
a lot in this movie that doesn't make sense.
like one of the guys on the super team. He's like the scuba diver.
Mm-hmm.
We just see him running toward a fountain and jumping in the fountain.
And he just swims in the fountain.
and that was the whole scene.
That's
And
it.
That's it.
Yeah.
But isn't that funny?
No.
I didn't get it.
When I was a kid, and this is another one of the stupid things I'll admit, this movie when I was a kid freaked me out a little bit. And I think part of it is
You're an idiot.
there was nothing to latch onto to comfort my child mind that this was a story because of the same reasons you're describing. Like it felt like a nightmare when I saw. My dad loved this movie, so like when I saw this, I was like, "This is nightmarish. I don't like this."
Well, I have to say, like when the stop motion tomatoes, when they were actually attacking people, that was kind of fun, right?
Yeah.
It reminded me of like that fish head video.
Yeah, I was
which
gonna
I
say
hate.
this feels very much like a Dr. Demento, almost like if he made a movie.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where the female Avenger She's just in the field eating cereal.
She's eating the box of steroids.
She's an Olympic swimmer.
She doesn't even try to run.
What is she doing in the field eating the steroids?
They told that was her sector.
I know.
She was guarding her sector to prevent tomatoes.
But she.
Well, what's great is like the message. When I say it's great,
I don't know
like,
why I'm trying to figure out this movie, but
so Wilbur, the parachute man, is told by Mason Dixon to go warn her that the tomatoes were spotted in her sector, and when he arrives, she's been killed by tomatoes, and he just tells her that tomatoes have been spotted in her sector and leaves.
That is cute.
Yeah.
But again, the whole scene is pointless.
That's what he was told.
Even though it
to
is
do.
cute and funny.
Well, I was wondering. I remember that bit of trivia, and then it kind of comes back to light to me about the whole helicopter. Like, if they filmed that helicopter scene at the beginning, and then they blew their entire budget right there, maybe a lot of the reasoning and issues in this movie and the lack of like what's actually going on right here is because they didn't have any money.
Maybe. I don't know when in the sequence of the film when that was shot, but the fact that they covered it up by saying they were hit by a kamikaze tomato, like. Yeah. They're like, okay, the helicopter crashed because it was suicide bombed by a tomato. That's some dumb shit.
It was pretty.
This movie is just dumb shit, but it's also very charming. And
it's charming. I like the musical numbers.
Yeah, and I liked the cartoon when I was a kid pretty well. And the sequel with George Clooney was pretty fun.
I just feel like I get why it's a cult movie. Usually cult movies mean not great. So, but I just... I don't like, maybe I didn't see it at a time in my life where it would have imprinted on me.
Juvenile. Like you did, it's very juvenile humor.
Have I lost? Is my whimsy box broken again?
No, not at all, because this humor is very much of 1978. It's like Hardware Wars. Did anybody see Hardware Wars?
No.
It was a spoof of Star Wars. With a bunch of household appliances.
I feel like
strings.
I have seen that, yeah.
And there was also like it's part of a collection of vignettes, and one of them is Godzilla meets Bambi.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
You know that.
Yes.
This very much is in that.
Which was really upsetting as a kid.
Yeah.
Seeing that one. Doesn't end well for Bambi.
No.
It just felt like it was something out of Cracked or Mad Magazine.
Yeah.
But those would have been better. It makes you realize these spoof movies, when they're fun and you like them, how talented those people have to be to make it good.
Well, look at like not so scary movies, and I mean all those like
scary movies.
How many of the? I mean, like some of those are good, but a lot of them are absolute. Remember, like the
Garbage.
Titan, the one with the Titans, and then the Wayans brothers did like
a haunted house.
Yeah,
like if you look at
so many that are
the scary movie
garbage.
Yeah, the scary movie series were actually pretty funny.
Yeah,
and then a haunted house, which has a lot in common, including some of the makers of the scary movies.
Yeah,
is terrible.
Well, the thing about those movies, a lot of times, is about the volume of the jokes.
Yeah,
and there's so many of the jokes, but those movies are good because a lot of those jokes hit.
Yeah,
and in this one, there's like maybe a handful that are memorable and good.
Well, it's again, it goes back to that talent behind it. Like Leslie Nielsen, man, shit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he could sell it.
He could probably made this movie watchable.
But have you ever like flipped through and watched some of those bad spoof movies? Some of those,
they're the worst.
They're horror, like the
Disaster
50
movie.
Shades of Grey one that was like a spoof on that. And
Wait,
what?
I think
didn't
I made
know
it
there
like
was
10,
one.
I think I made it, it's there. You have to look for it, but I made like 10 minutes into it. It was horrible.
Well, I know not to waste my time with these movies if they're not like the scary movies.
But they're doing the same formula.
I
and
give
they're
all of them
horrible.
a chance because like Not Another Teen Movie was really funny.
It was great. Not Another Teen Movie was great. Some of those are fantastic, but when they're bad, they're really bad.
And that's easy enough to just be like, you're done.
Yeah.
But even in those bad movies, I'm sure like in this movie, there are one or two jokes that are good, right?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I'm glad they spent $100,000 that could have fed starving children.
When you were in high school, was there any kind of cult? Like I remember for my friends, it was Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Like that was like the cult movie that you watched over. I remember the first time I watched it, I'm like, oh no, I don't get it. But then after like the 5th or 6th time that you watch it, because that's what you do when you're in high school, at least that's what my friends did, is like you're all in on the end. It's like it becomes an in joke. So I could see this movie, it being so dumb that if it was something that you had a shared experience when you were at the right time in the right place, it would, I could see where it would
there's
be really...
definitely like...
Do you think this is in the same arena as Troll 2?
Yeah, I think there's something more unique about Troll 2, and that it's like the sincerity from which Troll 2 was made. He thought he was making a sincere movie, a horror film, and this is obviously we're making a comedy. So I don't put them in the same class. You were talking about like with Monty Python. For us, we passed around Meet the Feebles.
Yes,
in high
that was
school.
another one. Yeah,
that was like one we would go back to over and over again because it was so like over the top and jarring to us to see Muppets doing that stuff.
Yeah, Meet the Feebles, Monty Python, and Faces of Death. Those were just on constant on somebody's passing them around or watching them or eating pizza and watching them all together. That's what you did.
Yeah. We didn't get to Lois Fairchild, the investigative reporter who...
What was she investigating?
At one point she found a pamphlet and started following Wilbur around.
I think she was supposed to be giving the information back so that... Because they didn't really want Wilbur to be successful, right?
Right, because of the Secretary of State, didn't want Wilbur to succeed. She started following Wilbur. Wilbur thought she was a spy. He tries to kill her... And then I'm trying to remember where the thread goes.
It doesn't matter.
There were too many plot lines.
It's right about here. Well, here's where you find out the secretary, because there's the big chase scene with Mason Dixon.
Yeah, and then you have the press secretary, right?
And the press secretary, who is the assassin character. It turns out it was the press secretary.
Right.
And there is the slow car chase scene, which is something... They were the first ones to do the slow car chase, which is pretty funny. And that, other comedies have done that now over and over again, but they were the first ones. So there's something. There's a gag that they can take credit for.
I did like the end. That looked fun.
Where they're at the San Diego, the Padres ballpark.
And everybody's coming out and smashing the tomatoes.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the disco thing where they smashed all the disco albums. That's what it gave me the vibe of, at least.
Well, it's great because it's only the crazy people stayed behind when they evacuated the city. So when they rally everybody to rise up at the stadium, it's only the crazy people. So the costuming is a little bit over the top. The Marx Brothers are there, and also the San Diego Chicken.
Yeah.
Did you recognize? Do you remember the San Diego Chicken when we were kids? He was a Padres thing. He would at the ball games, but he became like a national character that would turn up in commercials and stuff.
Like Gritty.
Like Gritty. Yeah.
So puberty love.
Oh yeah.
Shrinks and tames the tomatoes,
which they find because of the chase with the assassin that Mason Dixon goes through the kid's bedroom.
Yeah, but he just finds the album. How does he know that's what's gonna do
because the kid's is playing the album when he's being pursued by the tomato and it shrinks.
Okay.
And then he pieces, but then he pieces it together later when he finds the album again. And he puts two and two together. He's like, "Oh, this is the song that was playing when the tomato shrank."
So clearly.
So puberty love, but it's supposed to be like Donny Osmond, right? I think. I can't remember what they called him in the movie. But did you know who's singing that song? It's the drummer from Soundgarden.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, the guy who went on to play with Pearl Jam and everything. Huh. But that was him singing it.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was a cute...
Love.
It was cute, that little song. It's kind of catchy, right?
Sure. You know what I thought was cute was they use it to bring all the tomatoes down except the one that's wearing earmuffs. That I thought was adorable.
Where did they get them?
I don't know, but they made those out of toilet seat covers.
Doesn't matter. Where did the tomato get them? And how did he know?
I know. How did he put them on?
Once again,
his arms.
He had a human accomplice.
Yeah, and he cornered Lois and he had little earmuffs on.
And these tomatoes,
Amy, come on, catch up.
they were eating the people, right?
I don't know. I feel like they were just crushing them.
No, I think they were murdering them via blunt force.
Because at one point, when the guy dresses up like a tomato.
Oh, that was so great.
That was
master
cute.
of disguise.
Yeah.
He's infiltrated them. He dressed as a tomato.
He looks like the Fruit of the Loom people.
Yeah.
And they eventually ate him, right?
No, they were having a cookout because all the tomatoes were having hamburgers together.
Right.
And he asked one of them to pass the ketchup.
At one
that's
point,
how they knew.
They knew he wasn't a tomato.
I thought, okay, I'm trying to...
Did you feel like this is one of those movies where a guy infiltrates the Ku Klux Klan?
I'm spending too much time with energy.
You cannot
with
cars
movie.
this one. Do not
But
do it.
at one point, the other tomato asked one of the tomatoes, like, "Do you want dark meat?"
Yeah, I thought that was weird, right?
And because the guy was black.
I don't know if that was...
And I thought they were offering up the black guy.
Yeah, I could see
eat,
that.
Right?
I think they were...
That's what the joke was.
I thought that was maybe the joke, but it really didn't play that way because they were actually having a barbecue together.
But they also said, like, do you want a leg? And he was like, no, I want an arm, right?
Yeah.
And then the guy looks down and screams. And I think at that...
Oh, wait. It was probably body parts.
Yeah, at that point, maybe he got eaten or was offered a leg or an arm.
All I know is he blew his cover and he had to be murdered.
Is this...
I presume.
Did we have GMOs back then? Genetically modified stuff?
Yeah, I mean, technically,
yeah.
Is
Tangelos.
Is this a commentary? Is this
I don't know.
Get your yucks, but worry about what we're doing to our food supply?
Yeah,
is that
sure
what's
it was
happening here?
Probably that. No
Oh,
doubt.
boy.
I mean, considering one of the producers went on to work in the energy crisis trying to fix it, he may have.
Yeah, but like 30 years later.
I think it's more of an anti-vax movie.
Ah, yes. Don't vaccinate your kids or tomatoes will eat them.
This is Jessica Biel's favorite movie.
So there were spoofs. They directly referenced the birds and Jaws in this. But other than that, I really didn't catch any direct spoofs. Did you?
I think they were spoofing disaster movies in general, maybe?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
But what came out after this is, I think, interesting. They made a PC game in 1986, which actually got pretty good reviews, which is, I think, it was like a 3D maze game where you're in a factory. I don't know. But I do remember there was an NES game in 1991.
91.
And later they ported it to the Game Boy. But you were Chad Finletter, so I guess you're like the son of Wilbur or something. And you have to go and stop Dr. Putrid T. Gangrene. Dr. Gangrene was in the sequels. I think it was
That one guy.
the guy from Addams Family, John Aston.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. You have to keep him from unleashing the Doomsday Tomato. So it's one of those stomp on everything games like
I feel
Mario.
like I remember the cover of it now.
Yeah. It was you're in a town called San Zucchini. Does that help?
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So then yeah.
Oh my God,
Then it was
Mike.
adapted into a comic book in 2008. Did you burp and blame it on Mike, or was
No,
that
he
really Mike?
did,
Oh,
and then
okay.
I let the world know he did it.
So
Amy.
I know I'm a tattletale.
Snitch.
I
I'm a
thought
real Sidney Brady over here.
this was one of the more interesting things I found out.
Oh.
Author Kim Harrison. You know who Kim Harrison is, right, Amy?
She's actually local.
Yeah. Her books are set in Cincinnati.
Yeah, it's that urban fantasy, like paranormal.
Yeah, it's called The
Stuff.
Hollows. Have you
Yeah.
read The Hollows?
I read the first one. Wasn't a huge fan. I'm done.
Do you remember what wiped everybody out in that book?
There was something about tomatoes in that.
Killer
it was
tomatoes.
genetically modified tomatoes or something. That.
She got it from this. That was what
Yeah.
inspired her to cause that to be the end of humanity.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's another reason not to like that book. No, it's fine. It might be your thing, and that's fine. I
Local.
was very
Are they like young adult?
no,
kind of?
no.
Oh no, I haven't read any.
But
of
they
her
are
stuff.
set like the character lives in northern Kentucky, which is part of Cincinnati. If you don't know that, we've taken it.
I'm intrigued by anything set in Cincinnati.
Well, then read it. It's just not my bag.
I always like to see how people see the city
Yeah.
differently than I do.
Yeah.
Oh.
Where they're like, my city has killer tomatoes, which I don't see those.
I forgot
like
about that
tomatoes.
tomato thing.
I had tomatoes many times today.
Yeah.
I can't have tomatoes anymore. It gives me heartburn.
I'm sorry, Andy.
Why was it such a big deal that that one tomato was a cherry tomato? Oh, they knew that they were
the
growing.
size. It was big. And they're like,
Okay.
well, guess what? It's big, but it's a fucking cherry tomato.
I didn't get that joke.
I just now got it.
They said it was a cherry tomato, and then they cut to the really big one, like the beefsteak tomato,
Okay.
which is like fucking the size of a house.
I don't know why, but when I didn't get that joke, it made me feel stupid, and I feel bad for have this movie make me feel stupid.
Yeah. That's not saying anything good about
Exactly.
This movie doesn't make you feel stupid; it makes you stupid.
you. Like I said, I just don't think it's fair to say I hate it.
I
Because-
thought the musical numbers were fun.
I have a special place in my heart for this movie.
Well, yeah. I mean, I
the
get
same
it.
place where I keep my love for Mr. Bill from Saturday Night Live,
That's
the
way
little
better.
clear
I
man.
hated Mr. Bill. Mr. Bill
or
scared me.
the old Gumby cartoon. Like there are things that like I do not understand what they were going for with them, but they were part of my childhood.
Well,
and
I
have a
really
special
liked
place
Mr.
for me.
Bill because we're the same age. Mr. Bill to me was terrifying because of
I
all
thought
the
Mis-
horrible
Mis-
things that all
Mr.
happened.
Bill
to him.
made sense, though.
Well, I was always felt horrible for Mr. Bill, and I thought it was not right what happened to him over and over again.
How many of our listeners have any idea who Mr. Bill is?
He was a claymation
Google it.
doll that was constantly put upon by Mr. Hand.
Yeah.
And he was
Mr. Hand also
smashed.
narrated because he
Yeah.
basically toyed with Mr. Bill through
Mr.
the
Bill. Oh no, Mr. Bill.
Wasn't it on Saturday Night Live?
Yeah. It was like what they had before they did like Rob Smigel stuff, back when we were kids.
back in the 70s.
All right, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Thank you, Aussie Andy.
Yes.
Let us know what your true thoughts are about this movie.
Yeah.
It's okay if you like it. I'm not saying.
Andy's of an age that
shouldn't.
he would have seen this as a kid too, I
Yeah.
think, probably.
Yeah.
We're talking about listener, Aussie Andy, who chose this.
Yeah.
If you want a chance to pick a main attraction for our dance theme month, June is for dancing.
Why is June for dancing? Because of weddings?
I was thinking just people do a lot of dancing in June. Like there's like some people have proms in June.
Those are in May and April.
No, I did some research before I decided June was for dancing. I didn't just make this shit up.
Sorry.
Worldwide, June is a popular month for dance
Oh my
functions.
gosh! When I think of dancing, I think of June.
Yeah.
Square dances.
All
June
kinds of
bugging it.
stuff. Doing a June bug spade.
It's June bug.
So if you'd like to pick the final main attraction for the dance theme we're doing,
That's tricky.
sign up for our mailing list. Go to notlp.com, scroll down till you see the Dracula stamp. You can sign up there. We will randomly pick a name on the next episode. Listen for your name,
What's the
and we'll let you know.
first selection?
We're either doing. We have the two movies that the crew have chosen to do are Hello, Mary Lou, Prom Night 2.
Yes.
Which Amy loves. And you just saw it for the first time last year, right?
Not for the first time. I saw it back when I was a kid.
Oh, this is one of your babysitter movies.
Yeah, like this is a movie I saw when I was a kid and probably shouldn't have. And I remember liking it and being scared of it, but I just rewatched it recently.
It's so much fun.
Yeah.
And then one that none of us, you haven't watched it yet, right, Andy? None of us have seen. It's new. It's Gaspar Noé's latest Climax, which I think is just a bunch of ropey cum shots.
Freddy Morris. Anyway.
So, dancing ropey clump shots?
Dancing. Flinging and dancing.
Okay.
Oh God, I hate to be in the front row.
Yeah. The movie
you
was
will
originally,
get wet.
it was originally called Lassos.
Freddy.
So just any movie that has dance in it could be at a dance or dancers. You know, Suspiria, Black Swan type
Dance
things.
numbers.
Yeah.
Ooh, I hate both of those movies.
What?
I thought Black Swan was garbage.
Oh, shame.
I don't like artsy fartsy movies.
That's okay. That's okay.
I like my farting at home, like regular folk.
So, yeah.
All right. So at the end of every show, we always say hi to our Beelzebubs.
Mm-hmm.
They are our producers. They produce this show. Are you proud of yourselves? Again, welcome to Emily and Branan.
Hey, we're so happy to have you as part of
Yes,
our
we
Beelzebub
are.
family.
You're already in our hearts. Now we have your money.
We're going to do demonic things together.
Now we love you more.
Now we love you that much more.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, what's your favorite way to eat tomatoes?
I like them. My dad used to just put salt on them.
Oh, that's how my mom did it.
Yeah.
Mayo on a sandwich. That's all you need.
Just tomato sandwich, tomato and grilled cheese.
Jimmy B.
Jimmy B. How are you? You
Sausages
can get it,
tomatoes.
sausages and tomatoes, Jimmy B. You can get vitamin B from tomatoes, I believe.
Jeremy, Cassie, and Gamora. Can dogs eat tomatoes?
I don't know about that.
Do you know
Mine
that's supposed to have
have.
aspartame?
Dogs?
Yeah.
I don't know where they'd get it.
No.
They drink
Millie
a lot of Diet Coke.
loves Diet Coke.
She's so basic.
I didn't know
So
that.
Gamora wasn't feeling well, so there's a great picture on Instagram of her resting her head in Cassie's lap. And
Oh, that was cute.
it's so cute. I still need to meet her in person.
Are you feeling better, Gamora?
I love giant dogs.
Amanda, do you like fried green tomatoes? Let us know. Mandy!
I everything I'm gonna say sounds like a booby thing.
Okay.
So I'm not even gonna say anything about tomatoes.
Ernest, you like big juicy tomatoes?
You're a good tomato, Ernie.
Squeeze your tomato.
Trina Alex,
Trina, what a couple tomatoes these folks are, huh? Couple of ripe tomatoes.
Brandon Boone,
Oh, Brandon Boone is the sweetest tomato. He's like one of those grape tomatoes that you have to pierce with your fork in a salad and it chases. You have to chase it around a little bit, but it's hard to get. when you get it and you put it in your mouth, it explodes.
I just scoop it eventually.
I pick it up with my fingers.
Bill.
To be honest, though, those little grape tomatoes, Bill, are I don't really like the way they taste very much compared to a full-size tomato.
Okay, are grape tomatoes and cherry tomatoes the same thing, or are they different?
See, I don't know.
I feel like grape tomatoes are more oblong.
Yes.
And cherry tomatoes are round.
Yes.
And I think cherry tomatoes taste better.
Do you?
Blake, where do you come in on the great tomato debate?
I like it if I have the oblong grape tomatoes. I like those on my tacos because they're easy to slice.
See, I'll always take a diced tomato on a taco over like a...
Oh, yeah? You don't like the squirt? I like the squirt.
I like Roma tomato. I love when Outback Steakhouse would put the Roma tomatoes on their salads.
Hey, Mark, do you like the squirt?
They were like silver
See them
dollars.
stains?
You like squirt stains, Mark?
Tomato
squirt stains.
And finally, Alise, can you even eat a tomato?
Is that keto friendly?
I don't know.
If you ask an Alise
that's a
question.
good question.
It's a fruit.
Yeah.
It depends. It's a fruit and a vegetable.
Oh my God, it's
Andy.
confusing.
Depends on when you cut it.
That is the best joke I've ever heard.
Yeah, he loves it. Andy loves the slurs.
Like I
Because
said,
he's problematic.
I miss casual homophobia.
You want to move to Arkansas? I bet you can have your fill.
You could do that.
Your
like
fill.
It's not so casual there.
I just didn't know they said the F word in the 70s. I thought it was more of an 80s thing.
They said it all the way up.
Yeah.
Did they?
I think it was...
Until
I feel like that word has had a long run.
I'm trying to revive it.
Are you?
You gotta
Please
take it
go.
back.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. We survived the horrible storm.
Yeah.
We survived the killer tomatoes.
And hopefully we will catch up on our themes and get back in line with the months of the Gregorian calendar so that the great ones don't come down and eat our eyeballs.
Won't you dance with us next month?
Won't
Yeah.
you? Because you're already dancing because it's June.
Andy will be your
Everybody's
private
dancing
dancer.
in June.
Dad said some money.
People dance in June.
People dance in June.
More so than every other month.
I think it's the most dancingest month of the year.
Okay. That's crazy.
If you want to back me up, go for it.
I can't believe you Googled it.
Yeah. Well, we tell her
What was your Google criteria? What month do people dance the most?
what was the most popular month for dances? And it's June.
How do they compile this information?
Is it weddings?
Because they're on calendars all around the world,
Well,
Andy.
you got to think of all the festivals that are
Yeah, there's all
happening.
kinds of festivals,
There's
that involve
festivals and
dances.
marriages.
Yeah, but-
marriages got to be up right now.
We're not having feedback next month. Did we say that?
Right. This month.
We're too busy
I
dancing.
mean this month, because we're going to be too busy dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
So-
June is the
Yeah.
most busy month for dances.
Still send us your feedback, because
sure.
we'll
Yeah.
probably work it into the regular episodes.
Put on our dancing shoes.
Yeah.
Just want to dance with somebody.
Oh,
she's good.
all right. We love you. Goodbye.
Frankenstein was wondering if he should go to